And we're back. All right, in today's video, we're going to be installing the factory exhaust, head pipes, interconnect pipe, all that happy stuff, heat shields back to this bike. Hopefully, if everything goes okay, this can all go through as one complete video without having to stop, is what I'm hoping, like I did with the removal of the Vance and Hines. So the first thing we're going to be doing, we have to install the interconnect pipe, which goes, make sure I got the right angle here, you guys can see what I'm doing. Let me get a little closer. All right, so this pipe goes up behind, let me get this out of the way, that'll go there. This has to go up behind and bolt to the case right there. So what I'm going to be doing is going to start one just to hold it, and then I can get the other ones and put some Loctite on. Again, blue Loctite, you gotta have it. Get these bolts ready. These are Allen heads. They're the same ones that held the Vance and Hines on. You reuse your hardware. When you put a Vance and Hines pipe on, you reuse your factory hardware. So I'm gonna put this middle one, I hope. Let's see, where are you at? There we go. Get that started. Now I can pivot it. Leave that like that. Okay, so next order of business, let's get some Loctite on. We'll thread these in by hand. Now I can pivot this up, and this one goes here, like so. And then we'll get that front one, and then I'll take the middle one back out and put some Loctite on that. That one started by hand. Like I said, I always start them by hand, so you don't cross thread them. Get a bunch of threads, get them started. That way you don't run the risk of cross threading anything, because if you cross thread the aluminum, you're going to be drilling and popping an insert in, going to the next size. You really don't want to do that. All right, very good. That's nice, that's good. That one's good. All right, let's see. We're still seeing what we're doing here. Put that over there. Get you a little bit closer. Now for this job, I am going to use my clicker style torque wrench. And let's see. That'll just make it easier. Torque on these bolts is 33 foot-pounds. But I'm going to run them in first with the ratchet here. Get them running to snug, and then I'll just go ahead and torque them. That's good. I have to hit my camera base here. We're still looking good. Yes, very good. This one started. Okay, very good. That's snug, 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 snug. And then we go to the torque wrench. And it's not, you know, there's no sequence to this. It's just torque them down. So go to this one first. That's 33. I'm going to do this one next. That's 33. And then we'll do the last one. That's 33. Very good. Okay. So they are all torqued. And then we can move on to the next order of business. So this is actually what your muffler's hooked to. Head pipes, this interconnect pipe, muffler. There's a gasket goes here. Muffler bolts from the bottom. Same with here, gasket, muffler. So, and that's your stock exhaust setup. So, all right, now we're going to move over to the head pipes. Because remember, if you remember what I said in the removal video, we actually have to kind of assemble these a little bit now. So that requires, we have to put the flanges on. Okay, there's a flange. And then we got to pop these rings on. So if these go according to plan, you should just be able to, yeah, just like that, see? And that gets that together. And there you go. That's how it goes. So that's that. And then we'll go to the next one. Same thing again. And we pop the retainer on. Yeah, very good. Okay. So now we got those done. This is the back clamp for the muffler bracket where it's got to fit. And of course it slid right off, but now it doesn't want to slide right back on. So, and we're going to require a hammer. All right, next order of business. Going to be the O2 sensors. We have to put them back in. Okay, let's see. This is the front pipe, and I actually marked them. I don't know if there's a difference. Like on the bigger bikes, there is a difference in them. So this one I marked with just a piece of blue tape for the front. And then again, a little anti-seize. Doesn't take much, just a little bit. And we put just a touch right there on the threads. And then as I wind that in, that'll spread through. That up out of the way. That started. Now that one started. And we'll get the next one. Grab it over here. And again, same thing. A little bit of anti-seize. You don't want to get it. Look at that. That one's bent up. So, but it's still reading, so I'm not going to play with it right now. All right. A little bit of anti-seize on that. Cap this up. If you know anything about anti-seize, you get it on you, man, it goes everywhere. All right, and then we'll thread this in by hand. And these are, I think the torque on these are 30 to 44. Generally, what I do is I always, like I told you in other videos, I try to go to the middle. So these I'm going to do to 36. Put this here, reset my torque wrench, set this to 36. Right now it's at 33, so I'm just going to come up to the 6, and that's 36. Tighten that down, get this back over here, and we'll torque that down. Hold that with my foot. Yeah, easier said than done when it. There it goes. All right, 36 on that one. So basically that head pipe is assembled and ready to go. And we'll go to this next one. And same thing. I'm gonna put this here. Come on, baby. It's hard to hold with your foot and hold it down at the same time. Try it like this. Come on. One more. There it goes. Okay. So now they're both at 36 foot-pounds. We're done with the O2 sensor. This can go away and get out of the way. We're done with the snap ring pliers. No longer needed. All right. This can go in here. O2 sensors away. Snap ring pliers away. And then let's see, we're going to go, I guess we're ready for a head pipe. So we're going to start with the front one. Here we go. I have to get the gaskets. And we'll come back over here. Actually, before I do that, I think I'm going to connect the brake lever back. You see how I have the brake lever. I actually have it held up with a bungee cord, so I can wiggle and move because I have to get this started back under here. So I got to have a little bit of play to get that so I can start it. So that's good for that. Let's get the extension and the right torque spit. So we're ready to go. And then again, a little bit of blue Loctite. Not much, doesn't take much. I don't even know if there's a torque spec on this. I think this is just snug it down and you're good to go. So, get this started here. And then that lined up. Come on, quit pivoting on me. I mean, it is a pivot, so. All right, let's see. Do that by hand. That going? Yes, it is. Wow, I'm not going to argue with it. When it goes easy like that, you don't argue. You just do what you got to do. Okay. Going in nice. Very good. I'm not going to argue with it. Like I said, I'm just going to snug this. Because like I said, I don't believe there's a torque spec. So with a 1/4 inch ratchet, you'd be hard pressed to actually break something with a 1/4 inch unless you're like the Hulk. Because I did see, it was this guy Chris that I knew. He took a 1/4 inch ratchet like this, man, and you would think the ratchet would give way. It didn't. The bolts broke. And I was like, holy crap. Almost said the S word. Don't want to do that for YouTube videos. I was like, dude, you killed it. How the hell did you do that? I don't know. I'm like, okay. All right. So next order of business. That is done. Let's see, where are we at? All right. I'm going to get the gaskets now for the head pipes. So I'm going to readjust you now. Come back over here to the front head pipe. Tip that up so you can see. Bring it around. So the old gasket's out. The new gaskets are in my hand. And we'll see what we got from there. Come on now. These little Ziploc bags. My hands don't work like they used to. Let's put it that way. All right, now, front head pipe. Here's our front head pipe. Here's our gasket. And it's supposed to go over like that, but I don't know. We're going to see if we can fit it up inside like that. That might be better. Yeah, I think that works better like that. All right, let me get, the nuts are handy, and a 1/2 inch socket. Remove this. So what we're going to do is basically, you put these up, they're only, I think it goes to 120 inch-pounds, but I always put them up in increments. I have a small, I have a bunch of torque wrenches. So the main one that I have is my beam style, but for this I'm going to use the ratcheting one, and we're going to, let's see, get this fed over there. We're going to use the ratcheting one just to get it up there, and then we'll torque from there. All right, let's get this started. There we go. That gets that up in place. And then what we do, we just want to get the nuts started on it. All right. And then once we get it started, then we can get the pipe positioned where it needs to go. Okay, stay right there. Yeah. Just get that started on there. Wow, that was nice. Looks like it started for me though. Take this. There we go. Very good. That gets that started. And we'll get the other one started. I think you guys can see what I'm doing here. I hope. It's just tough to get the right angle. And we'll get this started by hand. Again, I always start them by hand. And I don't snug them. You know, I don't tighten them down, what I'm saying, until basically till you get the rest of the exhaust on. Then you start at the front and you work your way back. So we're gonna get this started here, like so. Get this one started like that. That's good enough. Yeah. Losing my socket here. Get that back up. Okay, that's good. Now, a little too tight. I think I gotta loosen that a little bit. Just a smidge too snug. Come back down, come back off a little bit. There we go. Because we got to be able to get the muffler on. Once we get the muffler on, that'll line up the rest of this. And then we can go ahead and start snugging stuff down. So right now that's started. In the meantime, let's see, what do I want to do next? I think we'll come around the other side. And we're going to plug in the O2 sensor just so I don't forget. So again, O2 sensor comes through. Take this tape off. And we'll plug that together like so. And then this goes back on. Get this clip back in place. There we go. See, that's done there. Now we'll move on to the back one. Get that in place, and then like I said, we'll put the mufflers on, and then once everything's lined up, we start torquing stuff down, but not before. See, this way that pipe will move, do what we got to do. All right, now we're gonna work our way to the back one. Let's just make sure we can still move that, but it's not too loose. Very good. And get this one. Very good. All right, that's that. And there goes that damn socket again. Just doesn't want to stay in place. Okay. Now, come back over here. We need to put the cover on first before I go any further. We have to put that side cover on with that rear pipe bracket. So, you don't want to put the pipe on without doing that first, because then you'll never be able to get the pipe on. So, all right. So now we're there. That's this. This slides on. Remember, we have a big bolt here, long bolt. Bottom is a short bolt right here. So we're going to get those. And what I did with that rusted one was I soaked that in PB Blaster all night. So hopefully that'll now work. Take that rust off. Majority of it, so this way that screw will turn in there without an issue. And we'll see what we got. Oh my God, my street glide is filthy. It is filthy from sitting on the winter. Nowhere to wash it inside. All right, yeah, that got the bulk of the rust off. I'll show you in a second. I just want to hit it with some wire brush here a little bit. Again, you do these things so you can put them in by hand. You want to be able to thread this stuff by hand so you don't cross-thread things. All right, here we go. There it is, see? Cleaned up much better than it was. All right, now we need my new bracket that I had to buy. Get that out. And there it is right there. It's a new bracket. So this bracket, there's a little nipple on there. That goes like that right there. And that's what the back pipe clamp connects to. So we're going to take this. Again, we'll put a little bit of blue Loctite. And what we're going to do is thread that by hand, as usual. And then we'll run it in. I don't know what the torque specs. I don't think I have them handy. I'm going to have to see. Okay. That's started by hand. That's one. Now we'll go to the next one. It's going to be the long top one that goes up here. Loctite on that. Let's see where we're at here. Let's go. There we go. There's that one. And then the last one for the bottom there. To see if I have the torque specs handy. Okay. That gets that started. So now I just want to run them in. Like I said, we're going to run them in. I'm not going to worry about torque yet. Oh, wrong one. Of course, you should know that's 3/16. big one's 5/16. That's this one. Very good. Okay, so we're just going to run this in just to snug. You guys can still see without my big hand in the way, right? Let's come on an angle. There we go. Bring that where it needs to be. There we go. Okay, that's that. That's snug enough. And we'll take this. Not going to be much. It's going to probably be inch pounds on these small ones. And then foot pounds on that big one. I'm going to guess probably 33 like the inner bolts were. Run this in. Good enough. And that one, I'm just going to snug that. Like I said, I don't know if I have the torque values for this, but we're going to look. That's just snug for now. That's good enough. Blue Loctite, it ain't going to loosen up at all. Not going to worry about that. That is not going to happen. Okay. Next order of business. I'm going to pop on this back pipe. Bring this up so you guys can see. There we go. Okay, right there's the cylinder. Push the gasket up in place. Like so. Okay, how that goes in. And then we take the rear pipe and the same thing. We're going to start them by hand. And then just get them to where they got to go. And then from there, like I said, we'll do the torque. So the max torque on them is 120 inch-pounds. Usually I do about 110 on it, on inch-pounds. But like I said, I take it up slow. I don't take it up fast. Now, all right, first things first. I got to get this bracket back in place. There it goes. Okay. Nothing a hammer can't fix. All right. First things first. All right. Now, get this up in place. That's got to be where it's going there. Come on. There we go. That gets that. See, this bracket, I don't know if that goes over or under. I think under. I think the way it's supposed to be. But for right now, again, we just want to get the nuts started. That'll help to hold it in place. And then, okay, you're gonna argue with me a little bit here. Come on. There we go. That gets it started. And then, like I said, I'll get that in place with the nut to hold it. Again, you always want to do this by hand. Don't try to crush it with a ratchet or anything. Just get it started. And then once you have them started, like I said, you can kind of position it where it needs to go. That goes there. Now, that's going to be... I don't think that's supposed to go in between the bracket, but yeah, maybe it does. So I think it goes in between. So we're going to put the carriage bolt that I bought just to get it started. And then once it's started, that'll help to hold that pipe in place. And then, like I said, we got to move on to the mufflers to get them lined up. So we're going to take, say this is the carriage bolt and the acorn nut. Goes in from the bottom, like so. And then this, supposed to thread on there, but I don't know. That looks like that might be a little too long. I'm not feeling it. That's supposed to be the correct carriage bolt, but man, that is long. Holy crap. I don't think that's going to do the trick, I'll be honest with you. But for right now, that's in place. And then we'll get the mufflers now. I just want to run these up a little bit so nothing moves. That's good. That's good. All right, now it's in place. It's not going to move. back around. We're going to connect the O2 so I don't forget that. And again, that's right here on the side. See that down in there? So I'm going to connect that. And then I have to zip tie that back in place. But for right now, that's good enough. That'll end up getting zip tied back there. But I got to take the side cover off to get it where I want it. That's what I did before. Okay, now let's come over here. Like so. Move this here torque wrench. Don't think I'm going to need this anymore today because it's inch pounds from here on out. Well, now I'm going to need it for the torque clamps now that I think about it, because they're 6. All right, now for the fun part. And that's the crushers. Let's see if we can get these out of the box here. Where did I put my razor blade? Of course. Probably over there where I've been opening everything. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, box of hardware. And a couple of mufflers. One and two. All right, that's that. I could just go outside for now. All right, what we got here? We got, well, all kinds of hardware. Holy crap. Brackets, other brackets. So they don't bolt to the stock brackets. It's like they have adapter brackets. And we're going to have to see what we got here. Now these were the ones that they sent me back because the first ones had like a major residue on them. And it was not good. It wouldn't come off. It was Dennis Kirk, and I said, look, these things, something's wrong here. They got a residue on them from the packing material, and it's going to scratch the black. I don't feel like messing with that. So they went and dug through, and they found out a few of the sets that they took off had the exact same problem. So, and then they found a set that they could send me that didn't have packing material stuck to it. All right, that can go there. Let's get this other one out. Heard these things in person, and I did like the sound of them, so we'll see. Hopefully they sound as good. So, all right, let's see how these brackets go together. All right, that's that. These are 04 to 13. The difference in the 13s is that the interconnect pipe moves to the head pipe. So let's see what we got here. Your head pipes, blah, blah, blah. So these are going to go, but I'm not seeing any information for which way. So I'm going to assume that way, like that right there. I'm going to make an assumption, but I'm not seeing anything in these directions. Penetrating oil. The mufflers by sliding, replace, reinstall the gaskets, the stock crossover, which I have. Slide the included nut plates inside the brackets that are welded to the back side of each muffler. Yeah, we have that. Again, they're not, like, these directions don't tell you which way this bracket goes. I'm going to assume it's pitched down. I hate to make an assumption because, you know, the old saying makes an ass of you and me. I'm not too happy with that. If there's not much in the way of info here. Nothing. I mean, they're not even showing you any pictures of how stuff goes, which is kind of messed up. So this, I know for sure, goes up under here. Like that. And then I'm going to assume that, okay, these nuts are all the same size. I would assume. So, and like I said, I'm going to assume that that bracket goes like that. So, all right, I'm going to have to stop you. I didn't want to do it, but I have to figure this out real quick. Again, these directions are not telling you which way these things go. Kind of piss poor.